Hi. Yesterday I read an article by Maurizio Gioffrè about retaining talent and the challenges of doing so for Salesforce Partners. With about 25 years of consulting experience, I feel that I have some thoughts to share about this, and it has to do with resetting expectations on the side of the consulting partners as well as for the candidates that go for the roles within those partners. Now, different size consulting partners will be very different, and it helps to know how they work in order to make sure that you can get positions that suit you for your stage of life or for that moment in time. Let's look at the three items that he brought up that candidates find challenging in the companies that they work for. The first one is they feel they have plateaued. Now, if you go for a small to medium-sized company, that is likely to happen if you're starting out in your career. And that's because the size of the consulting partner will reflect the size and complexity of the projects that they get, simply because of numbers, manpower. You won't be likely to see a small partner landing a massive global multi-million pound rollout, because the clients who engage the partners will want to make sure that it's a big one, a large company that has done this before and is able to manage and cope and rotate resources for their large projects. So that's one thing to think about. Secondly, if you're the partner and you are in the smaller and mid-size market, you need to understand that as humans, we all want to progress. We all want to get better. And if you set your sights on growing and nurturing young talent, two things can happen. One is if you get the formula right and you create a really strong culture, you're going to attract the kind of people who want to grow with you, who will be so vested in the success of your company that they'll put everything into it and find a way to just stay and grow. You will also find young, ambitious, really good, clever people who are on their way up, and you are but a stepping stone. And that is something you need to accept. And don't get upset or bitter about it, just accept, right? You're there to nurture them and to grow them. And for that point in time, you're the right size for them and they're the right size and level for you. And when they outgrow you, wish them well and help them on, because they might come back within the leadership to help you take yourself to the next level. You really can't expect to bring in new talent and have them stay with you all the time. There are two different mindsets at play, so just make sure you set your expectations right. Small to medium-sized consulting partners. The second point on Maurizio's article is projects that are too short or too long. Again, understand that the size of the projects that you're able to get on is reflected in the size of the company you're on. And this opinion of mine is aimed at consulting partners. If you're running large projects, have in place a process where you rotate people out. Make sure you have strong resource managers who make sure that allocation is made properly, that they understand who may have been on a project for too long, find a way, set up a framework to rotate them out, make sure they're taught to ensure documentation's up to par and have some processes for handoffs. Otherwise, people will get burnt out and people will get bored. There is a natural tendency for clients to want to hold on to very strong people. Now, Jim's, he's my technical architect. He's been on the project since we started 3 years ago, and this program has another 4 years to go. I don't want to lose Jim or Tim or Emma. It's very natural. But if you set up front the expectation with your client that all our guys are great, we have really good policies and procedures to help make sure that you get the right quality of people all the time, you can't expect to hold on to one person too long, because people get burnout and people want more challenges. If you don't put this in place, you'll find that your people will start leaving. And I've known many people who have left simply because the client won't let them go, or their company is unwilling to step up for them and help them find new challenges, and they just leave. And that's too bad, and it's just not great for everyone. It's not a great policy. The third one is around bonuses being tied to performance. Again, I will address this for both parties. First of all, understand that in consulting, your time is the widget that you are selling. Your time is how your company generates revenue and pays your salary. When you're on the smaller end of the scale, this becomes sharper in focus. The fact that if you're not billable in this month and you have a small team, where's the money going to come from to pay your salary? Unless they have a really big cash in the bank account to support this for 6 months, 12 months, it's going to be very tough. And it's quite a ruthless business, in that if you have too many people on the bench and you're not making the numbers, then something's got to give. So candidates, you kind of need to expect that. I'll address the partners side in a minute. For larger companies, they will have a small buffer. So I would expect that larger companies would have policies around making sure that your performance is based on a portion of your utilization, that it's not too high. Yes, they need to be utilized. And there's a factor in larger consulting partners where if you are very talented and if you are very popular and very good at what you do, all the projects will want you, all the project managers will want you, all the program managers will know, hey, Warren's a great test manager. I'm going to want him on my next project. My next project will require really rigorous testing. And I think we ought to wait till he comes off his project. It happens. So the better you are in a larger company, the more you network, the more well-known you get, the higher your utilization is going to be. That's a fact. However, the more junior you are, you don't really have that connections yet, and it's up to the resource manager to help get you your jobs. And so utilization isn't really in your control, and therefore tying performance bonus to a young newcomer, graduate, new hire into your company, it's slightly unfair. And that's my point of view. From the candidate side, this is something you ought to understand. And it's just the way things go. So if you're young and you're new and you're hungry for challenges, by all means, go for any roles that will take you, because you will learn anyway. The lessons will be different depending on the size of the company you go with. You go in a small and medium-sized company is really good for learning, because you know why? You're going to have to wear multiple hats on projects. You might be the only sole person on a small, quick, rapid start, they call it, 5 to 10 15, 20, 25-day project, something like this, where you're the only person. You've got to be the project manager, the business analyst, the person who does the configuration, the tester, the trainer, everything. And that really hones your soft skills and makes you very, very valuable as you move up the consulting value chain. You can also join a really large company and get on really, really exciting, large, complex, really naughty, gnarly, high stress, high learning kind of projects that you will also learn, and you will hone your craft in a different way. You'll be with a large team where you'll need to learn how to interact, how to get the best out of them, and how to perhaps specialize. You won't get an opportunity to wear so many hats. They're both excellent learning opportunities. If you're young, if you're new, go for anything and then figure out what rocks your boat. But to be happy, you also need to know what's coming your way in terms of small to medium to large consulting partners. And there'll be different stages in your life where different roles in different companies may be appropriate to you. And let's flip on the other side of the equation. Consulting partners. When you are hiring, understand that you should not expect to hire for life. Because we're all human beings. We're all going to have different needs that change as we grow and as our life changes. When you're young, you can travel and go anywhere, just like I did. Super fun, exciting. You bond so tightly with your teammates. As you grow and you perhaps start a family and you want different things, you want different challenges. And your company may, if your company isn't ready and geared towards supporting the whole journey, then make sure that the time that your people are with you, you make it great, you make it amazing, you support them, and you support them on the next step and hope they come back to take you to the next level. And this is the way I see how this partnership can grow, and not get upset when people leave or are poached, because it's a transaction. It's a business transaction. It's an employee contract that has a specific time frame. It may be long, it may be short. That's up to you to decide. But there's no point getting upset when somebody wants to leave to do something better. These are the thoughts that I had after I read the article yesterday, and I thought I really wanted to share how I felt from both sides of the equation. And this is the only way to truly make a consulting partner successful. It's when you have great culture, great understanding of people, you support them, you nurture them, you create a strong bond. Hopefully they stay. If they don't, hopefully they come back and bring something more amazing to you. And for job candidates, new people in the ecosystem, just try. Do your best. Put in your best for the company you work for. And don't get upset if you don't get what you want. Maybe it's the size of the pond you're in. You're outgrowing. Say thank you for the opportunity, but it's time for me to go. And that's the way to create a really good partnership that will last way longer than your employment contract. Those are the tips that I have for today for everyone. I hope you found it useful, and I will see you again tomorrow. Have a fantastic day.